first memories is doing loads of, do you know, at primary school when you're using loads of like really liquidy paint and just letting it like merge over the paper. I used to have this obsession with getting it as like messy as possible. Always got told off for that actually. And to be honest, I think art's always been a big part of my childhood. I basically grew up with a paintbrush in my hand. I've got very artistic parents, so it's kind of like second nature. Weirdly, I don't think I enjoyed art that much in school because it felt very rigid. It was always sort of outside of school and in primary school, but I think as soon as I got to secondary school, it was, I don't know, you're kind of taught to be in boundaries and there's rules. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love art so much now is there's not really any rules. You can kind of do what you want. So I kind of feel like I fought against that a little bit and wanted to go and do my own thing a lot. So yeah, funnily enough at school I wasn't sure if I was going to go and do art, even though it's always something I've really enjoyed. And then I realised actually after school you can kind of do what you want, and I think that made me realise actually no, I can pursue art because it's completely different when you leave school. My dad's an architect, my mum was a landscape architect, but they've always been very creative. Mum was always sort of doing drawings around the house. I remember her like doing lots of like Celtic artwork when I was little and watching her like colour in, and I feel like it was really therapeutic to watch. So I've always seen them doing creative things, so I think it was embedded within me from a young age. I actually started doing portraiture in my first year of uni, which now seems really weird now that I do Seascapes. But it was all part of my sort of journey figuring out my where my art's going to be going. Yeah, it was like a breath of fresh air, I think. Just being able to kind of do what you want, explore what you want in your own time. Having a studio space as well to like really explore what I wanted to do was amazing. So yeah, having a space to create art was like a big thing at uni, which I think now even more so. I think having a space is really important. Yeah, I went to see a David Hockney exhibition in London. I think it was at the Royal Academy, but I just remember seeing the way he painted water was incredible. And yeah, seeing them in the flesh and seeing how big they are, yeah, it was really inspiring. Gerhard Richter's work is amazing actually. In fact, I first knew him, I think everyone knows him for his like abstract expressionist work, like these massive canvases filled with like bold colour and mark making. And then I found out he actually does these hyper-realistic seascapes and landscapes as well, and kind of seeing that an artist can produce both was really interesting. I remember seeing one up close in the Guggenheim in Bilbao, and it was one of those moments that I'm in a gallery and it's like, whoa. I stood and looked at it for a long time. It was one of those paintings that made me want to jump into it, and that was one thing that I knew I wanted to kind of create, that sense of like, I could jump into that. I love seeing when artists paint water and that's not what you expect or know them to paint. Say like Gustav Klimt, he's not really known for his seascapes, but he does one painting of the ocean that's beautiful. The way he's captured that like light and the ripples is, yeah, stunning. I use a lot of blue to state the obvious, and I do think I've gone through like my Picasso blue phase now, and I feel like I'm potentially needing to explore other colours. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to use blue because I love it, and but yeah, I think it's about exploring the different tones, and my work changes with the seasons and my moods, which I find really interesting. I didn't know this until a few months ago, until I could like really see it. So yeah, and I've just working up towards a big exhibition, so hopefully that will be a turning point. And normally when I have these like points in time, such as like exhibitions and shows, I feel like something new comes from these things. So yeah, he'll see where it all goes, I guess. I think being by the sea in Plymouth just subconsciously came into my work. I kind of didn't plan it, but it just sort of happened. I started to be obsessed with the sea and started painting it more and wanted to just be by it all the time. Yeah, from my second year of uni, those 2 years I really focused on working with the sea and the land actually. I collaborated with nature a lot, so I worked with the sea. I used like salt water to produce a lot of my paintings. I painted in the landscape. And I think, being based by the ocean really influenced my work, and it became something that I've just loved since. Now I just want to kind of capture it in lots of different ways. Yeah, and I guess it is kind of changing like the sea, so yeah. I love Bristol and I love it because there's a river in the middle. I'm drawn to the water, I'm always by the river. So I think there's this thing about water that I can't seem to escape. Despite living in Bristol, I love the city, but I'm always sort of out and about the coast. I spend a lot of time in Clevedon because it's like the nicest bit of coastal location by Bristol. But I'm always travelling. I seem to gravitate towards Wales and the south coast quite a lot. But then it's lovely coming back to Bristol and producing work in the studio. But yeah, not so much inspired by the urban city life. It was really lovely receiving some comments from a past exhibition. Someone described my work as like windows to the ocean and windows to other worlds. And in fact, a lot of my circular work seemed to echo like portholes on a boat. And actually, that's something I try and achieve in my work now because I thought that was such a lovely comment.